Well, the truth is out. Hello, Summoners, and welcome. We have a lot to talk about today, with the conversation, of course, being centered around the Truth motion comic Riot just gave us. And I have to say right off the bat, wow. Riot seriously outdid themselves here, and if you have not seen it yet, I recommend go watch it now before I start spoiling things. However, this is League of Legends, and you are on the internet, so the chances of you having already seen some of the big takeaways are pretty high. But still, if you somehow haven't seen any spoilers yet and want to go watch it first, this is your last chance to leave. Okay, now, in my opinion, this is how Riot should always handle lore in their seasons. And I have already said that I was let down by the beginning of the end cinematic at the start of this season, which to me just felt like a skinline teaser rather than having anything to do with the actual story. But this motion comic more than made up for it. I also have to say that I am very surprised by just how long this was. I didn't realize until my second look that it was actually around 10 minutes in length. And there were a lot of great Easter eggs peppered in all over this thing. First of all, I want to point out something that really got me, which was the fact that we actually see Rost make a pretty clear cameo here and learn just how he was sealed, which I think is pretty cool. There's also mention of the Chalakar, the weapon that sealed away the rest of the Darkin, so I'm assuming they're using some form of it here that Zahen brought with him. I also love the little detail of Yunara referring to the rest of the map as the Third Lands, because Ionia is sometimes called the First Lands. And that actually does bring me to something really interesting, which is the fact that apparently Shurima and Valoran are both lobbed together as the Third Lands, because Yunara describes the Darkin as being from the Third Lands, meaning Shurima, the southern continent. And later she also refers to Jin Zhao's armor as having come from the Third Lands, then referring to Demacia, which is a part of Valoran, the northern continent. So this begs a big question of what are the Second Lands? I guess for now we'll just have to assume that's the mysterious continent further to the east where Camivor and Kathkan are found. I also love the little nod that Shen is just far away, and that's the only explanation given for his absence. Because, of course, he's not here when he's needed. He never is, to be honest. And that's the last of the Easter eggs and cool little details I wanted to mention. Now let's get to the big part of this that has everyone screaming, and that, of course, is Zahen. Zahen is the patron Darkin we knew from Yunara's lore back in Spirit Blossom Beyond. Only we learn that his true story is a bit different than what we were told in the tale of the Faithful Shrine Maiden. Zahen wasn't masquerading as a benevolent spirit. He came to Ionia on a mission to eradicate the invading Darkin, and he was under no false pretenses about his intentions. In Ionia, Zahen teamed up with the Kinku and sealed away all the Darkin, which, as we already said, included Rost, and I would guess some other noteworthy Darkin like Varus and possibly Zolani here? But after the fighting was done, he wanted to be sealed away like the other Darkin, for fear that he would fall like they did. And that really brings us back to the present with Jin Zhao. Now, I've seen a lot of chatter online calling Zahen the new champion, but I don't think that's the case. And it's because of a major reason. Zahen isn't the first ascended bird we've seen. Yep. He looks just like Azir. And we know Riot likes to give their champions distinct silhouettes to make them all feel visually unique. And if Zahen were to be added as a champion, this could lead to a lot of confusion on the Rift. I mean, just look at Azir's lawyer skin and tell me this wouldn't look like a skin for Zahen. Although, I could be wrong, and maybe Riot's decided that unique silhouettes don't matter anymore, and now we're going to get a bunch of new champions that are just cheap copies of old ones, and that's just going to be the new norm moving forward. I mean, in fairness, we are at almost 200 now. But I really hope that's not where we're going. So, for those reasons, I don't think Zahen will be the new champion, at least not in his current form. he would have to be changed into something so fundamentally not bird-like to assure he's not too similar to Azir. And hear me out for a second, but what if the workaround to this is that Zahen will break free of his glaive and take over Atakan as his host, potentially making the new champion an actual blend of Darkin and Demon, which we would probably see Zahen kinda overpower Atakan and still remain benevolent, but it's just an idea. Take it or leave it. Whoever the new champion is, we should be meeting them fairly soon in Act 2, so we shouldn't be wondering for too much longer. But be sure to let me know in the comments, do you think Zahen is the new champion, or are we yet to meet them? And what did you think of the comic, because I thoroughly loved it. I know this video wasn't super long, but I really just wanted to get my thoughts on the truth out because it's something that I have been very excited for a long time. I hope I'll see you back here again soon, and until then, I'll see you out on the Summoner's Rift.